What is up, Team Boosted? Welcome to another video. We're currently driving back from the middle of the desert because we have something in our trunk that's we're pretty excited to share with you. What is in our trunk is the first piece of the puzzle. If you've been following, you know, kind of what our objective is for the Datsun, you know that we want to make it a strip car. We're going to talk a little bit more about that because it's going to do kind of a multi-purpose thing. But the first piece of the puzzle, like I just said, is in the trunk. So you can count this as the first in a series of videos that's going to be us just going after a 9-second quarter mile.
Yeah, we're gonna take our pile of shit Datsun and turn it into a 9-second pile of shit Datsun.
Yeah.
But we met up with our buddy Sam yesterday, and over the course of a few hours and a few beers, really figured out a pretty solid game plan moving forward. And we're excited to let you guys in on that.
We're gonna get back home and join you guys back in the garage, and we'll talk more, and we'll show you what it is that we just drove an hour and a half to buy. We'll see you there. Alright, obviously we're back in the garage, and what we have here is a Richmond, or you might know it as a Doug Nash 4+1. Richmond just bought the design off of Doug Nash. It's an older transmission, but these are notoriously pretty strong.
The good thing about this transmission is that the input shaft fits our pilot bearing perfectly already.
The only thing we're going to need to change is this is a 26 spline Chevy clutch, but that's readily available. We can get a new clutch disc online. And as a matter of fact, we're going to be upgrading to like the 5-liter Fox bells, or do like a scatter shield. In addition to that, well, if you haven't gathered by now, we're just going to be upgrading the entire drivetrain. All these parts are fairly heavy duty, so if we're going to make this a street car, and I say that lightly because we want the car to be multi-purpose. So actually we're going to head over to the drawing board and we're going to show you guys exactly what we have planned for the car. And as a matter of fact, we have about 1,000 new subscribers since our last video, which is awesome. We'll show you a little bit, you know, kind of like do a car overview because there is a lot of new people here, and then we'll go over to the whiteboard. The car itself is a 1973 240Z. It started life with the, well, started life, you know, as a 73 240Z, but it started with us with the engine that's currently in it. We've obviously reworked this. This is a 1988 Ford Thunderbird turbo 4-cylinder in it. It's an outdated 4-cylinder from the 80s, but that doesn't mean it can't make a ton of power. So after we upgrade the drivetrain, we're going to go straight to the dyno. There's a local tuner in the area, and we're going to go for 400 wheel on pump gas, and then we're going to upgrade the injectors at a later stage. Whiteboard. When we do E85, we think we can squeeze 500 wheel out of this, and that should be good enough to get some pretty impressive times at the strip. In addition to that, it's got, you know, bolt-on fenders. It's got a, I forget what the color of the wrap's called. It's got a half cage in it right now. Sparco seats. It's got gauges that aren't hooked up and don't work, but they are odometer. Pretty standard, almost a full interior in this car. You know, you see a lot of Datsuns online that just have really shitty interiors. This is a pretty rust-free desert car. You gotta slam the doors because it's old. And it's got a stock R180 open diff, no good. It's got a T5, which, yeah, you'll have people that tell you they can do 400 horsepower, but we don't trust it, so we know that this can definitely take the torque that our 4-cylinder makes. Hopefully this could stand up to some 2-step launches, because that's in our future. Yeah, so let's go over to the drawing board to show you exactly what we have planned for this car. Okay, so we got stage 1 written on there. That's because the goal with the car ultimately is to take a really shitty chassis and an outdated 4-cylinder and bring that straight into the 9's. And we think it's possible, but you don't just go shooting for that right out of the gate, especially because Devin and I have very limited experience with the strip and with this car just in general. So the first step is, let's do like a respectable 11 run, and to do that we're going to slap in the Doug Nash, so you can slap that up there. The R200's going in, upgraded half shafts, the stub shafts, and stub axles so the wheels don't fall off. A scatter shield, an 11-inch clutch. Right now it's got a stock T5 9-inch clutch, so we need a little bit more clutch surface. And then the only thing it's going to need after that is a custom drive shaft, basically just one that's the proper length and has the right splines on either end. So we basically have all these parts. So we think that, you know, if we install all this and get a solid tune, there's a guy who's local to us. We think we can make approximately 350 to 400 wheel horsepower. If you don't know about the engine, 88 turbo coupe, HX35 China clone, literally ported everything, stage 3 bow port, 8 valve head. with the biggest cam that Beauport offers. I think it might have even larger, but it's got at least the stage 3. CP pistons, Crower rods, so we know the motor flows the 25 pounds. We probably won't go that high. 22 pounds should get us at least 350 wheels. So we think, you know, with the car weighing, what do you think, 22 to 2,500 pounds?
Yeah, it's light.
350 wheel horsepower. We get some two-step in there. We could probably get pretty consistent 11. So that's the first step. Okay, so stage 2 really happens when we break into the 10s, because that's when the rules and regulations change for everything. In 10 seconds, we're going to need a full cage. As mentioned earlier, it only has a half cage. It's going to need, so, you know, official rules, every track's different, but technically the rear end has to have upper and lower control arms for independent rear suspension cars. Ours does not. So we were going to do an S13 subframe swap and then upgrade to a Ford 8.8 center. So we're going to do an 8.8 independent rear suspension conversion with the S13 subframe. In addition to that, it's also going to need a fuel cell. It's going to need fixed back seats. It's going to need a lot of stuff. So that's why we're definitely, we don't want to have the car out of commission for that long. So we're going to basically run it in stage 1, basically how we have it, install the parts that we already have, and then it's an entirely new ball game after that. But with everything that goes into stage 2, we'll get 2,000cc injectors, run E85, try to get around 500 horsepower, and if some nitrous is needed, see if we can get 9's. And when I say 9's, it's going to be like a 9.9 something. This car is not, with this engine, going to run low 9's by any means, but we do think we could break through the 10's with the motor that it has. And I don't know why we're trying to do that. I don't know what we're trying to prove. It's going to be fun, though. It's definitely a unique build, and I think a lot of people doubt this motor, and they're really strong little engines, so we're going to, you know, the car came with this engine when we bought it on Craigslist, so we're kind of working with what we have, and
it's going to be a sweet journey.
So. We'll see where it takes us. Now that you know our game plan with the car, we're basically going to pick up where we left off last time. We never actually got the boost controller to work because all of the vacuum lines melted. So we went and picked up some more vacuum lines so Devin can do that properly. In addition to that, the alignment in the front is really, really messed up, and to the point where it's scary. It's not as bad as it was. I'll cut to the footage this time. But off camera, it was doing stuff pretty similar. It wasn't trying to rip the wheel out of my hands or anything, but we want to make sure that everything's straight and tightly put together before we start ripping shit out. So we melted that vacuum tree in that section, and all of these came off of the wastegate. So obviously we lost boost control too, and it hit our Tuner Studio fuel cut, which isn't good, so Devin's going to do that. I'm going to fix the alignment, and then I guess we'll take it out again, and probably not this video, but next video, we'll start ripping all the stuff out and upgrading the drivetrain. Instantly having drivetrain problems.
Yeah, it's not right, so.
Actually, if you look at this,
yeah, making crazy sounds and shit, so it was a good attempt.
A few things are immediately obvious once we run to the car.
Well, you can see right there, we totally just fucked this U-joint back here.
Yeah, it moves back and forth and up and down too.
Yeah, so that is most definitely where all of our shake and aggressiveness is coming from.
The transmission itself is very wet. It's leaking from multiple different spots. We know it's transmission fluid because it's red.
Yeah, a lot of wet surfaces down here.
So, you know, I guess we could replace this joint. We could see why the tranny's leaking, but like, what's the point? Because
oh no, we're past that.
We need a new drive shaft for the R200, and we have a dug mesh, so why fix any of this shit?
Nope, we'll just take it out. It's just gonna stay in the garage from now on.
I mean, it could stay on these stands, honestly.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up. Wrapping this up, the car is in need of some drivetrain repair anyway, so I guess this is a good time to move forward with the Doug Nash R200 stub shafts, all that shit. So that's what we're gonna be doing. What is today, Thursday? We'll probably get started over the weekend, honestly. We'll probably get started on Saturday and see how much we can get done by Monday. Maybe make 1 or 2 videos on it. It depends on how long these things take. But
you know we're god awful with timelines, so.
Yeah, don't take my word for anything. If I say a video every day, we're gonna make a video once a week. That's just how we do things. To everyone new here, and there's quite a few of you, we give away products from boostedshades.com every single video. Devin's gonna go ahead and pick this video's winner.
All right, this video's winner is Turbo 4.6 Black Betty.
All right, awesome. You can hit us up at Teamboosted at boostedshades.com or through any of our social media platforms. We'll get back to you and ship you your prize. If you guys are interested in winning the giveaways, all you have to do is be subscribed, like, and comment. Or you can dislike. If you dislike the video, you dislike the video. Sometimes we ask you guys things. It's not necessary to answer them. Just as long as you comment, you're eligible to win. We literally ask questions every single video if you care to answer them. This week, not so much this problem. We figured this drivetrain vibration out pretty quickly. It could have been a few things. We've had problems in the past that have taken a lot longer to track down. Basically, the question this week is, what is something that happened with your car or project that took you literally forever to track down?
Yeah, this one wasn't that bad, but when we first got the Datsun, if you guys remember, or if you knew and you look back, we had a wiring issue because this was just 2 wiring harness just clusterfucked together. And that took us literally weeks just to determine that it was completely fucked, and we got an entirely new wiring harness and did it from the start.
Sometimes it's easier, you know, they say don't throw parts at the problem, actually find out what it is, but sometimes it's easier to just replace everything, and that's what we ended up doing with that. Yeah. So, to reiterate, what was the most challenging problem to track down, the most mystery problem that you've had with your car project? You leave that in the comments, or you can comment whatever the hell you want. You're eligible to win products from boostedshades.com. One more thing, even if you don't win, please check out Boosted Shades. That is the best way to support us. It's how we keep building these cars.
As always, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.